So I read your book, The Thando Investor, and one of the principles that you laid out was investing in businesses which had a known limited downside and an potential unlimited upside. In Pabrai funds, when you invest, what do you see the role of options, for example? Do you use options? Because there's certain ways you can structure options when where your downside is very limited and your upside could be potentially, very much high. Do
Yeah.
you see that in? Do you see a use of that
Yeah.
in
I mean, I
Pabrai?
think I think options can be a way where you can reduce or minimize downside. I think Pabrai funds was specifically set up. One of the rules we have is we cannot go into derivatives. We don't use derivatives in general. And one of the reasons we don't do that is most options expire unexercised, right? So the probably the overwhelming number of options is that the premium collected is just kept. So I think, but having said that, it does have its place. It can give you that downside protection, but you can also get that downside protection in other ways. So many times we're able to get it without actually having to have a specific, we can get it by actually looking at the business and looking at the delta between what it's worth versus what it's being traded at and that sort of thing. But it's a valid way to go if you want to go that way.
Probably because the horizon, the investment horizon is probably longer than what many people would sell options. You can buy leaps probably for a couple of years, but you're probably looking in terms of decades, right? So
Yeah, and actually one of the things that took me a long time to figure out, like they say, old too soon and wise too late, is that basically the best, there was a guy, Thomas Phelps, who wrote a great book, 100 to 1 in the stock market. His book came out like 50 years ago. It's still, I think, pretty timeless. But he said that, I think it was Phil Fisher who said that. He said that if the job is done right, you never need to sell. And I think that's a great way to approach it, is that if you can, I mean, I think the holy grail is that if you can find yourself in the happy place of ownership of a great business that is compounding and growing at the long runway and you never need to touch it, I think that's awesome. It's a great way to go. And so I used to practice that in the 90s. Then I moved away because of the bubble. And then what I should have done is gone back to that by like 2009. But I went back to that more like 2018. And so now I'm pivoting more towards where, I mean, if I can get to the point where we have no buys, no sells, and just coast, that'd be great.